got what you need? Yes. So it's good? Yes. So I can tack it? Yes.
Day 2 of the log bed build here. I didn't get over to video any of the build yesterday because I had a funeral to go to. I had an uncle that passed away this week. So it's kind of a short week for videoing. Of course, with the rain, we didn't get a lot done the later part of the week. So, bed being done here. So this would be the front of the bed right here. They're actually cutting the pieces right now for the headache rack to start that part of it. So, as you can see the bed, I've always been infatuated with the not the West Coast, but the East Coast style, New England area, Pennsylvania style beds, like you see a lot of the Hubler brothers beds. I like the 2 center bolsters being taller, so that's kind of the direction we went with this. Kind of do a walk through here. We'll ask Brandon here in just a second, and this is just a cross brace, no bunks going on there, no bolsters. So a lot of money in steel here. Steel prices are through the roof. So Brandon, what is the material we're using here?
It's just 3/8 wall rec tube and square tube.
And it's not AR 500 material. What is it?
It's just A500 grade B.
Heavy stuff. So, and what are you doing here on your welds, as far as your passes? What are you doing to put it together?
The fillet welds are just 3-pass with 045 flux core.
And there's no stick welding of any kind on this?
No, it's too slow.
And it takes a lot of passes to get everything where it needs to be?
Yeah, you need to have as many passes. The weld needs to be as thick as the material is.
And so we're about done with the bed as far as just the kind of getting the skeleton together on that, and you're ready to start on the headache rack.
Correct.
And you've got gussets. You're putting gussets on, I assume, right?
Yes. Yeah, there'll be 3/4 inch plate gussets on the bolsters.
And you really can't build these things heavy enough, can you? No. I'm assuming. Brandon knows me. He knows the type of guy I am and how hard on stuff I am.
You know who's going to operate it.
Yeah, so it's built extra heavy. So once the bed's kind of assembled for the most part, then you're going to mount it on the truck to make sure everything kind of fits. Or
yeah, we'll mount it and get all the mounting points welded on and get it all fit where it needs to be, and then we'll take it off and get it painted.
So how many hours do you think you've got in it as to right now, just to get everything cut, welded up where it is?
About 15 right now.
It's a lot of cutting and a lot of welding. And so as Brandon stated, he's notched these, that way we can save a little room. It doesn't hurt the integrity or the strength of the bed at all.
No.
And it'll save us an inch or two from sticking up too high. Like Brandon said, we looked at some log beds prior to this build. A lot of times you'll see the bolsters, they just kind of sit on top of the main rail, don't they?
Yeah.
So to save us a little bit of space, every inch counts, or every foot matters. So he's got those notched out to where they fit on there. Let them welded up good and snug. So this is just a cross brace. There's no bolsters going on that. It'd be nice for most of our logs are longer anyway. A lot of 8s, 9s, 10s, 12s, and multiples. We don't haul too many short pieces, and if we do, we can always kind of put a layer of longer logs on the bunks and put our shorts on in there, then strap everything down. So on the bed itself, like I said, that's where the headache rack's going to be up there. Down below here, you'll have a toolbox on each side, because you guys watched the video on the initial, when we got the truck, the Serco put on, we did a frame mount tank on the loader. So the hydraulic tank's mounted in the loader. So we did that for a reason, so we'd have more space on the frame of the truck, because I actually want to put toolboxes there whether it be to keep chainsaws in, straps, chain, just whatever we need. And we'll actually have the devices on this bed where you can, the ratchets, we're putting the things on there to ratchet it down anyway, aren't we?
Put some bars, some of that tube across from bolster to bolster to put tie downs on.
Yeah, so we'll be able to ratchet our load down or strap our load down. That way everything is good going down the road. We don't need any attention from the D.O.T. guys. They give us enough grief as it is. So that's one thing we liked about our. Now let's go over the height of the bolsters here. What are the front and the back two bolsters on height?
6 foot.
6 foot on the backs, and the centers are 7s.
Correct.
7 foot on the center bolsters. So part of the reason on that, it's not necessarily that we've got to haul just a big heaping load of logs every time we put a load of logs on, but going down the road, in theory, now this is all in theory, and going down the road, the load should look better if your logs are sitting below your bunks. I, in my mind, like to think I'm less likely to be targeted by the lovely men in brown for them to ask any questions or want to look things over if my logs are sitting down below my bolsters. And just like the center tube being higher, like I said, that's not a design of ours by any means. I showed Brandon pictures of what I wanted on some trucks I'd found on the internet. They were also behind the cab mount loaders, but I definitely like the center bolsters being taller if you want to put your longer logs on top, because we haul a lot of longer logs, and we're definitely not going to be hauling every log we cut, every stick that we bring out to the deck. We're not going to haul that. Still, I'm money ahead for somebody else to haul my logs, but it's nice to have the option to haul wood when you need to haul it. So that's why we're going with this design here. A lot of our high-grade logs, we'll haul them back to one of the yards. You can put your longer logs on top, longer logs on bottom. And of course, for us with the walnut, the higher grade stuff's where it's at. Of course, there's the Mac, there's the Peterbilt. The Peterbilt's been over here the last month or so. We've been tinkering with it. Kind of, either my stuff sets at Brandon's house or his stuff sets at my house. We only live about 3 miles apart, so it's not terrible. They're getting ready to start setting up pieces for the headache rack up there. Now, what's the rundown with this material? How thick are we on this for the headache rack?
It's the same.
It's the same material.
4 by 3/8.
4 by 4 by 3/8.
We're just laying it out.
Of course.
So you can figure the angles.
As you can see here on it, this is all A500 grade B, proudly made in the USA, the United States steel. And this is for the headache rack right here. They're just getting everything laid out, kind of getting all the angles, getting ready to go on it. So the headache rack here, you're looking at the bottom right here where Brandon's at, he's getting ready to tack things together. Now they're getting these cut up here, these pieces you just seen, they're cutting them at 45s, I believe was the angle. And these are going to come up crossways, just kind of make it look good for aesthetics. No purpose really other than that, just so it's not a big boxy ugly headache rack. I want it to look good. Now what Brandon's doing here, he's beveling these pieces. Then he'll go back in with the grinder and touch them up. But using the torch, he can bevel them faster, I guess. So he'll bevel them that way when he fits the pieces together. He can fill in that bevel with weld and kind of strengthen everything up. Windy day. Headache rack set on. It's just the skeleton of it. A lot of pieces missing from the inside of the headache rack there. Braces and crossbars. That'll look pretty sharp. I like those 45s they put on there on the sides over here. For the most part, I've just kind of left the design up to Brandon. I just kind of showed him how I wanted it, and everything else has just kind of been his own little draw up. Which, what he's done here with cutting the frame out to set down on the main frame, I like that. It's got everything welded up solid. Should be a really good looking bed when we get it all, I'll say we, when they get it all put together and put on the truck. So now the bed's up off the ground, as far as welding goes, all the underneath parts, like up under here, under each cross member bunk, up underneath where the headache rack's attached to the main frame. A lot of welding to do. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Pretty excited to see it on a truck. And if you listened earlier, I think Brandon mentioned it, I don't remember, a lot of the reason he notched these is just because, one, saving us a little bit of height here, but two, we won't have to rely on gussets on these near as much with notching that, putting down there and welding it up like he is. You know, Brandon's a heck of a welder. If you guys follow his page on Instagram, he's only has an Instagram page, BW Welding. You can see a lot of the projects he takes on. I mean, ever since we were kids growing up, he's been a welder and a really good welder. And not only that, he's such a perfectionist about everything, very meticulous. So he's very, very particular about how things are, which it's good to have friends like that, because as much as I'd like to be like that, I'm not made that way. So usually whenever I want something built, or if I break something, I can always count on Brandon getting it fixed to where it needs to be or better. And just like on the log bed here, definitely getting it built how we want it built, and we know it's built to last. This will be a good bed. And I've actually already had a few people ask me about beds and stuff like that, and you would need to talk to Brandon about that. I'm sure he would build you a bed if that's what you want, but you definitely have to talk to him about it, because he is a busy man. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.